Here it is, folks, the 10,000 subscriber milestone video, as promised. I'd like to take this time to thank each and every one of you personally, all 10,200 some of you. It was just 7 days ago, as you can see on the screen, that we only had 9.93 thousand, 9.93. They make it look like a bigger number than it is. 9,931 subscribers 7 days ago. Today, 1 week later, we have 10,200 plus. We've gotten almost 300 subscribers in the last week. Pretty insane, and I owe it all to you guys. Well, at least the 300 of you that subscribed in the last week. What I want to do right now real quick is take some time to thank everyone personally by name, all 10,000 plus of you. I'm not going to do that. It's my second big milestone. My first big milestone was getting monetized, and my second one is to hit 10K. My next milestone that I want to celebrate, you know, we could celebrate at 20K, 50K, however many K you guys want. My personal big milestone, next one is 100,000 subscribers. That is my goal for this channel. I'll celebrate the other ones too, but once I hit 100,000, I will feel like I have achieved what I set out to do. At least one of the goals that I set out to do. So 100,000 subscribers. You can also see up there I have, well, as of last week, I had 155 videos. I've added, 7 or 10 more in the last week. So 150 plus videos. That's insane. That's more work than I've done on anything in my entire life. And so I'm pretty proud of myself for that accomplishment. Most of them are pretty decent videos. Some of them are kind of cheesy and low effort, but like some of the gameplay videos, but there's not that many of them up there. Most of these videos I put a lot of work in, writing, researching, thinking, talking to you guys on the Discord server, getting feedback from you guys. Early on, that wasn't the case, but over the last year and a half, 2 years or so, you guys have been instrumental in helping me to see different ways of playing, different ways of thinking about the game and looking at the world, and I think you've made me a better person as a result. That and the drugs. So what I promised here was to answer any of the questions you guys posted on this community post that I made. Let's just jump right into that because that's fun. I like question and answer. This is the Q&A portion of tonight's entertainment. A few questions about you personally. How old are you? Do you have kids? What do you do for a living outside of hunting monsters? I'm not going to get into really personal stuff. When we hit 100K, I'll answer those questions for you. I think those are more 100K sub questions than anything else. But there is a Monster Hunter question here. What is your full opinion on underwater combat and Monster Hunter? I'd love to see a full video on this, et cetera, et cetera. My opinion on underwater combat is that underwater combat is amazing. I love it. I love every aspect about it. I love the fact that it's hard. I love the fact that you can get turned in the wrong direction and not know what the hell's going on. I love the fact that you have different moves that you could do underwater than you can on land. I love the 360 degree. It's more than that. It's spherical, all direction, 3-dimensional alignment and positioning and strategies. I love the fact that you can place barrel bombs in the water and they just kind of stay right where you put them. And then you can put a shock trap right there too. And it doesn't instantly electrocute everyone. And then you could just trap the monster. It's just awesome. I love it. See, I got my start in Monster Hunter on Try. And Try is underwater combat, right? 50% of the game. So much of it, well, okay, it's not 50%, but it felt like that. It felt like you fight on land and you fight underwater. And that's just the way it is. And that makes sense to me. Why would you have monsters that only fight you on land? A lot of these monsters they live in the water. They're aquatic. So it just makes sense that you go in their territory and come after them. I like underwater combat so much that when they got rid of it, I felt like something was missing. I felt like a huge part of the game had been taken away from me. I might be the biggest fan of underwater combat on the planet. That might be a true statement. Is it coming back? Absolutely. There's no question in my mind that underwater combat's coming back, especially now with the technology we have, especially now with the new engine that Monster Hunter's running on, and the way that Rise demonstrated the developer's complete mastery of move sets and what the weapons can do. They went vertical. You're flying through the air. Underwater combat is going to be so easy for them to implement because all you have to do now is take the gravity out of it. We already have 3-dimensional combat in Monster Hunter Rise, fully 3-dimensional maps and traversals. All you got to do is get rid of the gravity. Once you hit the water, no more gravity. Boom, you're done. Now, they're not going to implement it in such a basic way, right? We're going to get different moves for underwater combat. We're going to do so many cool new things underwater that you can't do on land, but it's not like it's difficult to do anymore. It's not a technological hurdle that they have to overcome. It really isn't. They've done it before and it worked really well. And a lot of the issues that Tri had, they fixed in 3U. Of course, they introduced a couple new ones, but it's a no-brainer. So as of the recording of this video, we don't know that Wilds has underwater combat, but I predicted this over a year ago that the next Monster Hunter will have underwater combat, and I'm going to hold to that. And you guys hold me to that too. We'll find out if that prediction is correct. So far, a lot of my predictions have already come true. I need to make that video too about all the things that I've already successfully have predicted. All right, that was Kentaro Gold 1483. Thank you for your questions. Okay, Frizz 3001. Okay, question. Why are dual blades objectively the best weapon ever made? Yours truly, the dual blades enthusiast community, namely me and my cat. Well, Frizz 3001 and his cat already knows the answer to this. Frizz is testing me as to whether or not I know the answer to this question, and I do. And the answer as to why dual blades are objectively the best weapon ever made is because there's 2 of them. You get 2 of the blades. You get 2 weapons. Simple. Okay, new to the Monster Hunter community. This is Epic Edits for you. You know what? Epic Edits for me, I would, man, if I had some Epic Edits for these videos, wouldn't that be amazing? When this channel makes enough money to pay my rent, I'll hire an editor. Then my videos will be so much better. I bought Monster Hunter World last week and I was building defense and saw people said not to. Came across your video posted 8 months ago saying build defense. Very informal. I think that means informative, and learned a lot. Flex. Yeah, not a question, but thank you for the comment. That was my dropping some truth bombs about defense and Monster Hunter. My most successful video by far. Over 100 and what are we up to? 170,000 views on that now. It's insane. I never thought that would be my most watched video, let alone 170,000. You know, I made that video more for myself than anything else. I thought I'd get maybe 2,000 views on it. I did not think that it would resonate so much with the Monster Hunter community, but it did, and I'm glad that it did. And it's me sitting in a spreadsheet for 20 minutes. Really, guys? That's, you know, hey, if that's what you like, man, I'll make more of that stuff. But I think mostly it's the validation that people get. You know, this player base is 15 million people, 15 million, and 14.9 million of them don't get any validation for the way they like to play the game. That's another one of my goals, to provide that validation to you guys. Yeah, you're doing it right. The way that makes you love to play the game, that's the way you should play the game. And if that's speedrunning, awesome. If that's building for defense, awesome. If that's building for comfort, awesome. Burning fish sticks. Burning fish sticks. What's your opinion on the debate regarding Elatrion's Escaton Judgement mechanic? You know, I do have an opinion on this, and it's going to piss off most people on the planet because most people hate that mechanic, don't they? Most people who have played World and have played Elatrion just don't like it. At least the people who have expressed their opinions on it. Most people who have expressed their opinions on it don't like it. So is that just the squeaky wheel kind of thing, right? People who are complaining are a lot louder than whatever. Most of the voices you hear are complaining voices. However you want to say that, right? I don't know. Most people who talk about that issue say that it's terrible and they don't like it. And my opinion is the exact opposite. It's all right. It's not a big deal to me. And it's not a big deal to me because I fought Elatrion in Tri and I fought him in 3U, mostly in Tri. It wasn't a big deal then. And it's not a big deal now. Was the mechanic the same back then? No, it wasn't the same back then. However, the heart of the issue is that people don't like to have to build for elemental. They want to bring their raw builds in and fight them that way. They don't want to have to build for elemental. That, at least that's the complaint, right? That's what they say. Now, they hide it behind this idea. They couch it in these terms of, oh, DPS check and so forth. The entire game is a DPS check, all right? The entire freaking game of Monster Hunter, by their definition of DPS check, every quest is a DPS check. If you don't do enough damage before the timer runs out, you fail. That's a DPS check. I mean, it's whatever. It's silly. It's ridiculous. Go build for elemental, learn the process, and just do it and play the game. And if you don't like Elatrion's quest, then don't do it, right? No one's forcing you to fight Elatrion. All right, the response I get to that, I've heard it all before. I read all the comments, so I know what everyone's going to say. The response to that is, well, you got to fight Elatrion to get the best gear so you can fight Fatalis and blah, blah, blah. No, you don't. No, you don't. No one's forcing you to do that either. If you don't like the quest, don't play it. But I think it's actually pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool because it requires you to build more than one set. It requires you to understand elemental weaknesses, and it requires you to have a strategy for a quest that goes beyond just go in and beat the snot out of the monster. And that's okay. I'm okay with those. It's more like a siege in that respect. You know, people who don't like Escaton Judgement, you're not going to like siege quests in general, are you? Because you have to fulfill certain criteria, or there goes all your DPS checks. My favorite quest in all of Monster Hunter, and that's another question coming up. My favorite quest in all of Monster Hunter is a series of DPS checks. But the cool thing is when you hit those DPS checks, when you hit a certain threshold, it changes the quest for the better. DPS checks are not inherently a bad thing, and I don't think they're a bad thing with Escaton Judgement either. I think Elatrion's just tough, and people want to complain about the quest just being really, really freaking tough. Burning Fish Stick's got a lot of questions. Old gen or new gen? Old gen, Try, and For You, my two favorite games for sure. I love Rise, but you know, nothing hits as hard as your first Monster Hunter. And I think For You, while it wasn't my first, to me was peak Monster Hunter. I loved everything about For You, just all of it. And so another question, what kinds of things would I like to come back? That's coming up too. So most of those things are going to come from For You. All right. Favorite Monhun memory playing For You and Try. Like all of it. Just all of it. I developed some good memories too from other games. Most of my favorite memories revolve around playing with a couple of close friends and people I don't know at all, who I've never seen before in my life. And this is going to shock you guys. It's going to blow your minds. Almost all of my favorite memories are getting together with people I've never played the game with before and doing speedruns. What? What is he talking about? What is he talking? Yeah, I'm a speedrunner, guys. I'm not the type that likes to make videos and post them and brag about them, or, you know, install mods and cheat my way through to some type of world record. I'm the type of guy who likes to do speedruns with randoms and to teach them cool strategies and to develop new strategies and to work within the limits of what they can do. So if they can't do the speedrun in the way that I've developed for, you know, certain expert players that I would play with, then we figure out what their strengths are and we develop a speedrun around their strengths. To me, that is very special. And so a ton of memories about doing that kind of stuff. Aside from that, you know, things like World Eater, funnest quest probably. Any Devil Joe. Wait, now we're getting into the next question. Favorite monster. Devil Joe is my favorite monster, if you didn't realize that already. I've said that on a few occasions. I've said it in the Discord about 1,000,000 times. Nothing is better than Devil Joe to me. I love every version of him. I love everything about him. And the fact that he's not in Rise, it's almost unforgivable. I'm still seething over that. Least favorite monster. Where do I start? In Rise, it's Almudron. I'm just going to throw that out there. The lava one is a little better than the mud one, but that regular Almudron, man, can't stand him. Most monsters I really love, though. That guy can just leave. Just leave. Go away. Don't come back. All right. Bloody Kenshiro 8218. Out of the 14 weapons, which do you like the most and the least, and why? My favorite weapon is light bowgun, because you used to be able to build a stat set for light bowgun You used to be able to be a stat gunner. It's really hard to do now, but back in the day you could, and that was my favorite thing in the world to do. So I'm gonna have to say light bowgun. Least dual blades, just because it's objectively the best, and you know I don't want to play the best objective best weapon. I want to challenge myself. No, it's probably dual blades because okay, you're right. It's you got me. It's sword and shield. I don't really care for sword and shield. I never really have, and the reason is because I suck at it. All right. Every game I try to get good at sword and shield, and I just can't do it. With one exception, I was actually pretty good with it in World. It's really, really powerful in World, in Iceborne. So if you love sword and shield and you haven't played World yet, pick it up. Awesome weapon, awesome combos, very powerful. Lots of cool tricks you can do with it that you just can't do with other weapons. Bloody Kenshiro, thank you for the question. Slim Throat, Ed. Slim Throat. Slime Throat? I don't know what he's saying. Almost 10K. You got this, man. We did it. We did get it. We're well past 10K now. Also, what feature in Monster Hunter Wilds are you looking forward to the most, and which one the least? Underwater combat the most. Not confirmed yet. It's in my book, it's confirmed. What am I looking forward to the least? The feature I'm looking forward to the most in Wilds is the one where you can't warp back to camp and just access your box. The one where you don't have access to everything and anything at all times. That's the feature I'm looking forward to the most because, look, it's gotten too easy, right? I know those are features for noobs. I get that, but that's not me, right? I've been playing this game for well over a decade, almost 15 years. It's insane. I don't need that hand holding anymore. In fact, I just don't do it. Like I don't go back to the box and refill. If I don't have, I'm just lazy at this point, but I'm looking forward to that feature because for me and a lot of the veterans, so to speak, it's gotten too easy in many respects. And so we need that challenge. Now, how is it going to play out for new players? I don't know. Whatever feature they put in the game to make it easy for new players, that's the one I'm going to like the least. And it's not for your sake, it's for my sake, right? For your sake, for everyone out there, we'll probably have 30 million sales on this thing. Obviously not day one, but we'll have a player base of multiple tens of millions. And for most of you guys, you're going to be new. Well, most of them won't be new, right? We'll have probably 50% of the players of WoWs will be new players. So for that 50%, look, you're going to need all the help you can get because this is going to be a hard game. They've said that as much. They said, the developers have told us, we want to give you the sense of danger, the sense that you're under threat at all times, and that it is a very hostile world. So you guys are going to need all the help you can get. For me, I want that. I want it to be hostile, and I want danger around every corner. All right. And the Spork Lord, nice to see you here, Spork. Regular contributor in the Discord. Congrats. My question is, which weapon do you think you'll main in Wilds based on what we've seen so far? I'm going to be honest with you, Spork. I haven't watched any of those weapon videos. I've been out of the loop for so long, and I haven't watched a single one of the videos. Yeah, I put them in I edited them into a recent video, but I didn't even watch them. I just clipped the ends off it and stuck it in for your sake. I needed filler for the video. What are you going to do? But I have them. I downloaded them. I got them on my computer. I'm actually going to do a reaction video on them, and it's going to be kind of fun, kind of silly. So you'll get an answer to that question when I make that video. Dead 1943. Congratulations to 10K. Hope H&C is cheap where you live. Now, when I first read this, I thought, what the hell does H&C stand for? So we're gonna find out. I don't know. My guess, the only thing I can think of is heating and cooling, right? I don't know. I guess it's relevant in today's post-apocalyptic society, but I looked it up on Acronym Finder. I plugged in H and C, and it gave me H/C. We've got ranks, no. Habeas corpus, Hague Convention. None of these really fit. Hairdressing Council in the UK. Haley's comment, Hampshire College, don't live near Hampshire College. The Hampton Classic Horse Show, not near that either. Hand cannon. Hand cannons are pretty cheap here. Handling capacity, hanging Chad. What? Happy Christmas. Hardcore. H and C though. Hasp clasp. There's an and. Those are probably cheap. I haven't checked the price on the hasp clasps lately down at the hardware store. Yeah, I don't know what you mean by that. So If you mean heating and cooling, it's pretty cheap. It's pretty cheap here. Landlord pays it anyway, so I'm not too worried. Your question, do you want underwater combat to return? Yes. What's your favorite hunt in the series? My favorite hunt in the series. Yeah, favorite quest. My absolute number one favorite quest is the Gen Moran Siege. It's awesome. I like that better than any standalone monster quest. The whole process is amazing. That's the one I was telling you about with all the DPS checks. And if you hit these DPS check thresholds, you change how the quest plays out, and you can speed up the quest. You can speed up the, what is going to happen next. In fact, you can get, if you do it right, and you don't have to cheat to do this, if you hit such a high level of DPS, you can get Jenny, to start attacking the ship, to start approaching on land. You can basically go right to the end stage of the quest and skip all the middle parts. But you got to be good enough. You got to use the right weapon. You got to do it just right. Very cool. Old mechanics you would like to return underwater combat? Yes. The trading system in 4, you know what? I don't even remember the trading system in 4. But there's a lot of things from 4 that I would like to come back. A big one is the guild quests. Is that what they were called? Guild quests? It's been a long time since I played that game. So we've had things similar to guild quests in World and Rise, but I liked how the guild quests worked. Yeah, I would tweak them a bit. I would change them up a little bit, but I in general, I liked how guild quests work. And the thing I liked best about them was the randomized maps and the special gear you could get. That was cool. Like a whole new tier, a whole new type of armor and weapons you could get from the guild quests. And so that made them feel really special. And we had a reply on this. Kintara replies, I hope to see a full video about underwater combat. Yeah, well, we'll see. I loved it and try and miss it sometimes, but I understand my rose-tinted view of it. I'm right there with you. It would be incredibly difficult to incorporate in a new game successfully. I disagree strongly with that, as stated previously. I think Capcom could do it. I do too. Plus, it would unlock a whole new realm to hunt in, absolutely, along with all the monsters that would come with it. I miss Laggy and Goble, absolutely. 100% agree with that. I do miss Lagiacrus. Goble was always fun, and I love popping that little lantern. All right, Antonio Cunningham, congratulations. Here's my question. Why are so many people in the Monster Hunter community so toxic against Longsword? I've been tripped up just as much by dual-bladed and insect glaive, but these weapons get a pass. You're exactly right, they get a pass. Because the hate against Longsword predates the existence of insect glaive, and it doesn't predate dual blades, but in Tri we didn't have dual blades. And the hate against Longsword, for this reason, this particular type of hate, the tripping, the anti-tripping hate, was in Tri as well. We didn't have the dual blades, and obviously didn't have insect glaive, but the Longsword in Tri was obnoxious. It was a great weapon. I used it a lot. Look, the reach on it was insane. When you did the Fade Slash or when you did the Spirit combo, the area of effect, as it were, the reach that thing had, the wide sweeps that it was doing, you're hitting everyone except maybe the gunner who's way behind you. But he's shooting you in the back. So, and it was frustrating. It was very frustrating. And in fact, the only way you get around it was for everyone to use Longsword, because when you're Spirit comboing, the Longswords won't knock you out of your Spirit combo. So yeah, that bias goes way back, and it's very deep seated in the community. And it's like one of those, it's legendary. It just keeps getting passed on to each new generation. Even people who don't go that far back, they hear it from the old timers and they just repeat it. And they just, it's like a virus. It's a mind virus. It's just a weird historical thing. And get those decos. Those anti-flinching decos, just not an issue. That's why they put them in the game. So just get one and you'll be fine. Zacharias Zatorian. Dude, 10K is a big milestone. Hope you are hyped up for Wilds. You know I am. I guess my question is, with the bow changes coming in Wilds, are you still going to bow main? Much love and congrats again, my dude. Zacharian is my dude. We played together several times. Big active member of the Discord. And just love all the input that you give and a lot of the cool things that you've taught me. Zacharias is the guy who helped get me set up with the Powder Vortex build. Cool stuff. Am I still going to bow main? I just don't know. I need to watch those videos. I might just by default. And it's just, I love the mobility of it, right? I love the mobility of being ranged, but also being able to get in close if I need to. So there is something special about bow that never clicked with me in previous games, but with Rise, it really stuck with me. Right now it's a yes until I explore them a little further. King Flame 6588. My question is this: is there a monster that you're just not good at fighting no matter how many times you fight it? I guess the short answer is no, because every monster that I've fought over 100 times, I'm really good at fighting. Now, 100 times may seem like a lot to some people. To me, it's not. It's just like the beginning for me. So after 100 tries, I'm good at that monster. No, they have not invented a monster that is impervious to me learning it and learning how to dominate it. Now, that said, is there a monster that I've not fought 100 times? There's a few, and it'll probably stay that way. And El Mudron's on that list. There's probably a few more, but there aren't many, to be honest with you. There aren't many that I haven't fought 100 times. All right, final question. R2O Tube. How I found your channel was because someone was hate posting against you on X. But isn't that what X for these days? Just shitting on other people. I always enjoy listening to people I disagree with, but found the channel very entertaining and enjoyable and even share a lot of the same sentiments. Well, I'm glad you do. That's my intention, to entertain and put out some ideas out there that people aren't really putting out there. Put out some ideas that go against the popular, I wouldn't say popular opinion, but they go against the loud voices screaming all this stuff at us. Put out some ideas that most people can relate to. I went on a binge, listened to a lot of the podcasts you've appeared on, and ever since the first video, and maybe you answered this in an older video, and I've been on a handful of podcasts, by the way. I say yes all the time. I have only said no once. I'll almost always say yes to go on a podcast. I don't care who it is. Even somebody who hates me or who thinks I hate them. The answer is yes. Invite me on and I'll go. I love it. I love doing podcasts. Maybe you answered this in an older video. I haven't watched the entire backlog yet. I had to know what was the straw that broke the camel's back that wanted to make you poke the hornet's nest that is the speed running community. Congrats on your journey. Excellent question, R2O Tube. And we saved the best for last, didn't we? The straw that broke the camel's back and poke the hornet's nest. I'm the camel and the speedrunners are the hornets. Poke the nest with a straw. As I mentioned earlier, I am a speedrunner, right? But not the kind that most people think of when you say speedrunner. I'm not even the kind of speedrunner that I think of when I say speedrunner. Unfortunately, that's how bad the situation's gotten. But speedrunning is a lot of fun for people who have played the game a long time. And I was doing speedrunning in Try, my very first Monster Hunter. And that's because I put thousands of hours into the game. I was already over the hill before I even played a second Monster Hunter game. Speedrunning is cool because, well, in Try, it was cool because the content in Try was so condensed, so small. The roster was like, what, 30, less than 30 monsters? Something ridiculous like that. The number of quests, what was it, like 60, 80 quests at most? I don't even remember. There's not a lot of quests in Try. There's not a lot of monsters in Try. So there's not a hell of a lot to do other than repeating the same monsters and the same quests over and over again. So either you put the game down and move on to something else, or like me, you're completely fascinated by it and you just keep doing the same quests over and over again, which is what I did because I just loved the game and I wanted to get better. And so at some point when you do a quest 100 times, you realize, okay, I got to do this a little faster and then a little faster. I got to find ways to make this interesting. Okay, we won't do it faster. Maybe we'll make it go longer, but we'll do it with no armor, or we'll do it with rare one weapons, or we will do it with bombs or silly, stupid stuff like that. And eventually one of the things that you get around to doing is doing it faster. When your goal is to do it faster and faster, that's what speedrunning is. So I got into speedrunning. Like I said before, it wasn't competitive speedrunning. It wasn't, try to break a world record. Try to, because it wasn't a big thing on YouTube back then. Posting speedruns and bragging about how awesome you were wasn't a thing back then. You got together with people on the server and you put the strategy together and you tried to do the quest as fast as you could. And that was it. That was what was fun for me, coming up with those strategies. And we did Devil Joe speedruns. World Eater was awesome. World Eater speedruns were fun because the quest would only come up every, 2 weeks or something. Everything was on a schedule. The event quests were actual events. That's why they're called event quests. because it was a scheduled event on the calendar. You had to wait till a certain day and time for that quest to be available for you to play. A little bit of trivia there. That's why they're called event quests. So World Leader was awesome. So when World Leader came up, everyone comes on the server just to do World Leader at that same time. So you get all those people together doing the same quest, and some people just want to get through it. Some people want to farm them for talismans. Some people already have too many talismans and just want to see how fast they can do it. We do all of them, A, B, C, and D, all of the above. And we'd get them down to like 1:08 Typically, we were always under 1:20, usually closer to 1:10, and we broke the 1:10 barrier a few times. We'd do Gen More and speed runs. We would just speed run anything we wanted to. Like I said, because there wasn't a lot of stuff in the game to do. So I don't do a lot of speed runs in later games like World and Rise because there's just so freaking much to do to keep you busy, to keep you occupied. More new quests, anomaly quests, ranking up your anomaly quests. 4U had a lot of stuff too, but I did a lot of speed runs. Didn't have nearly as much stuff as today's games. Did a lot of speed runs in 4U, and we would come up with ways to speed run quests that no one else was speed running. We got a little sidetracked, but what was the straw that broke the camel's back? All right, so when I started to see speedrunners, it wasn't that they were making videos and bragging about how awesome they were. I can handle that. Everyone's entitled to brag about how awesome they are. I do it on occasion in my personal life. That's why I have no friends. That's fine. That doesn't bother me at all. I don't care how much somebody brags about being awesome. If you're awesome, you're awesome. Own it. Great. What really bothered me was when I started to see, and this is 3 years ago. This is long before Carl Jobst, how do you pronounce his name? Carl Jobst had anything to do with Monster Hunter. And this is just in Rise, right? I've seen this in previous games. What broke the camel's back was when I started to see in Rise, early on, right after the game released, people posting speedruns that were obviously cheated speedruns. Yeah, long before Carl got into this, but not the earliest cheated speedruns I've seen. I saw cheated speedruns in game. You didn't really see a lot of speedruns on YouTube back in the day. You'd see a lot of cheated speedruns in game. When I started seeing it on YouTube, everyone's watching it now, and people posting comments like, "You're so awesome, you're amazing," and people saying, "Yeah," and the speedrunner saying, "Yeah, I know I'm awesome. I'm just amazing." And it's an obvious cheat. That's what made me decide to speak up against it, start talking about it, start addressing the issue in the community, and to build this channel. And in fact, I can point you to the very video that broke the camel's back, that broke this camel's back. I'll show you the straw. Where the hell is it? Right here. This one. This is a cheated speedrun. Everybody's favorite bow expert right here. You go to this video, you click on it, and you tell me what's cheated about this video. It's very interesting. Now, this video was released April 15, 2021, and it's before the PC version of Rise was released, long before. You get all the bonus points if you can tell me the 2 obvious signs that this speedrun is cheated. Yeah, scroll down to the comments and everyone's just sucking up to this guy. And the comment I made on this video has been deleted. I pointed out the 2 things that were cheated, and he's actually admitted to it as well. Okay, but it looks like he's deleted all of the comments where he's admitted to it. He's admitted that this is a cheated speedrun. It's not even controversial that this is a cheated speedrun. That's what made me, as you say, poke the hornet's nest. And then I just started seeing more and more, one after another. And not just him, just everybody's doing it. So right from the very beginning, Rise speedrunners have been cheating. And Carl was talking about World speedrunners. Yeah, people cheated in World. I saw that too. I saw people cheat in 4U. I saw people cheat in Try. I saw people cheat in 3U. I saw people cheat in every version of Monster Hunter that I've played. Like in game, I've seen it. It's not a big stretch to realize that, yeah, speedrunners are doing it too. The fame and fortune is just too much to resist. And if you don't believe that, if you honestly want to give them the benefit of the doubt, go watch Carl's channel. All right, he's got one Monster Hunter video. Watch all the other videos on his channel, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. So yeah, there was that. There's another video I want to point out that helped inspire me to start this channel. I guess I owe it to someone else who I have a little bit of disdain for in motivating me to start making videos. I'm gonna show you that one too. I don't know if he's a speedrunner. I don't really pay too much attention to him. I just so strongly disagree with everything he says. Very inspiring. Another bow expert, by the way. This guy right here. Watch this video. Bonus points for you if you can point out some of the flaws and misstatements in this video too. This was 3 years ago, and this was a couple months before I posted my very first video. You can trace the history of it. Watch this video and just had enough. I was just like, I just want to enjoy this game, and I don't want to hear people spreading these just falsehoods, just flat out falsehoods. The funniest part about this video, he says something like, Capcom doesn't like animation cancels. Capcom doesn't like animation cancels. And so I addressed it with the very first video that I made for my channel. We're taking a stroll down memory lane here, but 10K subs. This is where it all began right here. My very first video that I posted. Go back and watch this. And this is kind of a response to this video. Watch this. I point out some of the things that triggered me. Maybe it was a little too harsh, but not many people watch this video anyway. So I still stand by it. I don't apologize for this video. I still believe it's accurate and correct. So there you go. Couple of early inspirations. So I thank you, both Titus and Femito, for inspiring me to build not only this YouTube channel that has 10,000 subs, not even close to where you guys are at right now. 62K for Femito and 20K for Titus. You guys are doing great. Keep up the great work, guys. But not only for building this channel and making 150 videos, that's ridiculous, but for building a Discord server. And if you haven't joined the Discord server, come on over. We've got plenty of room for you. There's a link to it, an invite on my channel page. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. A lot of good conversation, a lot of good information, a lot of smart people. We still have some people who are a little naive and maybe jump the gun on a few things, but we try to keep them in check. But the thing I like the most is we don't have the toxicity that other Discords have, Monster Hunter Discords. And people usually, if it ever pops up, his tiny little annoying head of toxicity pops up, people smack it down pretty quickly. Very welcoming community. 10K subs, 10,000 hours of rambling. There it is, guys. It's been fun. It's been 3 years. I actually want to make a video just kind of looking back on things and highlighting some cool videos that you may have missed, sort of as like a 3-year anniversary. A little late, but it was 3 years as of like 2 months ago. So still kind of timely. It's been a long, hard road. It's been a crazy journey, and we got a long journey ahead of us, don't we? We got to get that 100K. But you know what? Our next celebration will be 20K, and then the next one after that will be 50K, and then we'll hit the 100K. It's gonna be ever upward, ever onward. And who knows, we might go to 200, we might go to 1 million. Wouldn't that be cool? A Monster Hunter channel with 1 million subs. Yeah, just don't even dream about it. It's not going to happen. I mean, I think 100K is realistic for Monster Hunter only. Let's work on that, shall we? Been having a lot of fun this week. Got several more videos in the pipeline. Let's hope these meds continue to work for me. It's drugs. It's drugs. It's all the drugs talking. If you are watching this and you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do it. Doesn't cost you anything. If you want it to cost you something, it can. Check out Patreon, and that'll cost you comments, questions. We can roll over questions, further questions, into a podcast, can't we? This is kind of like a podcast, isn't it? Maybe we'll call this a podcast and just go with it. Let's do it. All right, cool. See you next week, folks. That last time I said that was about 8 months ago.